welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we're gonna go introduce you to Jane. This is my 2016 Jeep JK that I picked up last year. It is a different project for me. So I know a lot of people think of me as like an old Jeep guy, and I'm trying to learn to be more than that. So I did the last thing probably anybody expected, including myself, and I bought a new Jeep. So
No, God!
I had a very specific idea in mind with what I wanted. So I wanted a very basic version of the Jeep JK, or a new Jeep in general. I actually started looking at this project, or a potential for this project, for using a Jeep JLU. Specifically, I was looking at the diesel version because on paper I think that one looked awesome, but in practical application I decided against it. Maybe I'll do a video on that in the future, but what I ended up with was this 2016 Jeep JKU. This is a sport model. It is almost as basic as you can get. It is, of course, the 3.6 liter V6. It has the automatic, the WA 580, which is the same transmission used across a lot of Chrysler products and even Mercedes-Benz products around the time frame this was built. And since it's a sport model, it has a regular 242 low range part-time transfer case that is lever shift, which I like. And then this is a pretty basic version, but it was optioned with 373 gears and a rear limited slip. It comes with the Dana 44 rear axle and then just a Dana 30 front axle. This has the base model sport tires and wheels from the factory, which is a 225 75 16, and it on a plain steel wheel. This Jeep was optioned with the hard top, and the interior is still very basic though. It has the hard top, but it has the still has the crank windows, no power door locks, very simple, as simple a Jeep I think as you can get almost, and that's what I wanted. So I like these vehicles that are kind of, I don't know, modern examples of simpler times. And so trying to balance the need for, or the want, I guess, rather, the want for a little bit of more convenience, and convenience can be not just gadgets, but also how quiet a vehicle is, um, how it goes down the highway, the speeds it can go down the interstate, all those types of things. And that's what I was hunting in this vehicle. So I wanted something, because I have a growing stable, if you will, of different vehicles. I have my 1942 Willys MV, which I call Rango, which is a heavily modified flat fender Jeep. There is a video recently I did an update on that. I'll try and do a link to that. I don't know if I can do that on the screen yet if I'm fancy enough, but it was done recently on this channel in the last couple videos. I have my 2007 F350 pickup called Blanco, which is a white, just like this Jeep is, but very basic Ford pickup, and that's kind of my, you know, do everything tow haul. I dailied it for quite a while. Vehicle, but it's a little bit large. And then I have what I call my LX45, which was a custom project that I did. I think about 6 years ago now, 5, 6 years ago is when I started it, finished it. It is a essentially short version. It is a old Land Cruiser on a new chassis with an even newer powertrain, and so it is, full custom body. That's kind of FJ45 pickup esque. It is an amazing vehicle, but it is it's a small pickup, and so that brings us to this thing. So why a 2016 Jeep JKU Wrangler? So this is the four-door version. I'm sure there'll be plenty of minivan jokes and all those things, but why this Jeep, or why one of these Jeeps? And so I don't think this is necessarily the perfect answer by any means, but this is a step in the right direction. And what I want, in broad strokes, is something that is a mid-sized vehicle. And so for me, that is something that's, I would say, around 120-inch wheelbase. And so this is, kind of in that 116 range. So it's very close to that. I wanted call it SUV body shape, kind of in a van, if you will, configuration. And by van, I mean more like like a three-door commercial G-Wagon that is a, basic stripped down vehicle. But we don't have those options really in the United States. So I wanted it to be attainable. I didn't want to have to import something. So that's where I ended up with trying a four-door Jeep. These are the most popular off-road vehicle probably in the United States. The aftermarket support is fantastic, and they're just, I do think it is a good size for what I want to do with it. I don't necessarily think it's going to be more capable than something like the LX45. That is, the wheelbase is similar, the width is similar, but the body is much smaller, so that lets it fit in more places. But what I found with the LX45 was I kind of ran out of space that made me happy. And so I'm pretty particular with how I pack my vehicles for longer trips. I don't like looking like the Clampetts with it plumb full of gear and loaded down per se, or overloaded. I like keeping things pretty clean and simple, but I like having space. So I've always kind of said that I'd rather have a lighter, heavyweight vehicle rather than an overweight, small vehicle. And so that's why I decided to go with the JKU or something this size, because I feel like I can spread out a little bit in it, hopefully. And that includes things like potentially being able to sleep inside the vehicle on long trips. And by long trips, I mean like a week-long snowmobiling trip, or going to do the Ducey Ursham Trail, or going to Mexico for a week, and hopefully longer as life allows. But in order to stretch the seasons out, I think that being able to sleep inside the vehicle, not taking more stuff per se, but being able to take um, the right amount of stuff and have it not completely fill up the vehicle, and then have enough space left over inside that I can sleep. And the first part of that will be setting the vehicle up for one person to sleep inside. A good number of my trips are done solo, and so that's where I'm going to start, is just being able to set up the vehicle for sleeping one person inside, and then move on. After that, I do have an idea and a configuration for being able to sleep two people inside a Jeep JKU with all the stuff that you would take for a week-long trip, and not feel like it's overloaded. And the general guideline for me with that is, I like when a vehicle is packed that the gear doesn't the gear isn't piled higher than the belt line or waistline, body line of the vehicle, and so below the tub rail, if you will, or the bed rail. That's kind of my guideline for when I know I'm kind of taking maybe a bit too much stuff or not enough. And there'll be exemption. There's things that you won't be able to get around with that, but that's my general guideline. So I hope I'm gonna try and do this video with some B-roll and stuff, but I hope the inside cab footage is not too light. Anyways, so this vehicle right now is still very much stock. It's not going to stay that way. However, I do want to have a very capable vehicle, and that, I think, is going to mean, for what I want to do, that this will end up on a 40-inch tire with axles that will support a 40-inch tire. I'm not really going to go into what that means yet. I've been working on kind of two different ideas for that, trending towards one right now, but I still have a lot of stuff to do in the meantime, which is kind of the starter stuff, if you will. And so I have done a few very little things, like just to kind of find my way around the vehicle. I've done a Pioneer tool set, if you will. So on the rear corners of the Jeep JKU, on the roll bar, sport bar, I have mounted a small shovel and a small forest axe in some nice holders that I think kind of blend in with the vehicle. I did a custom phone mount. This, like I said, is a basic vehicle, so it does not have power or windows, so that left me this opening in the dash where I could engineer this little mount that is modular, so I can mount my phone, or I can change it around in the future and I can mount a tablet. One of the only other options this vehicle came with was the connectivity package, which comes with the steering wheel controls for the radio. I think the radio is kind of the lower to mid-grade. It does have CD player and connect to your phone and all that stuff, but no nav system. And so I will probably be using a tablet in the future for my navigation duties. I usually run Gaia on a small 8-inch Lenovo tablet, or day-to-day stuff, I just use my phone. And so that, and then I think that about does it for current modifications on this. It is stock, And what I am getting ready to do this morning, and why I did this video right now, is I'm getting ready to do kind of the first big modification, which is a set of Nemesis uh, aluminum rocker guards. And so those are I would say, in the medium duty category of rocker guards. They do bolt to the body, and but I didn't. I do have my reservations about drilling holes in the body, but I didn't want to do heavy, big, welded to the frame style uh, rocker guards on this. I wanted something a little bit lighter, sleeker, tucked up a little higher, stuff like that. So that is the, I think, basics of what I call plain Jane Jeep. So thanks for following along, and hopefully you'll see some more projects on this in the future, and you will. It's going to not be my primary project, so the videos won't be daily or anything like that, but I do have a couple things that I've been working on. There is a front bumper that's in the works that I've been custom designing for a while, and that's just about ready to go to the powder coater. I actually went and picked out some colors for powder coat the other day. This vehicle will be used as kind of a learning, teaching tool for Be Safe recovery gear, and I will be doing, I don't know about products on it per se for the JKU platform yet. If you see anything that, in the future that you like and you would like, please contact me. You can do that through the Brennan's Garage website. So it's just brennans-garage.com. And that did remind me of one very simple modification I did to this. Was when I went to go change the air filter. When I bought it, I noticed that you needed a tool to get into the get all the way to the air filter. So you have to use a small 10 millimeter socket or wrench to remove these two bolts out of the intake tube, so that when you unclip the airbox cover, you can get to the air cleaner. And so that was annoying. I hate having to use tools for things like that. So I basically designed a thumb screw replacement for those two fasteners on the intake tube, and now the process of inspecting or replacing the air cleaner is toolless. Those are available on the store. That's a great way to support me in this channel and the things that I do, and hopefully lead to more cool stuff. And yeah, so stay tuned. This might be an interesting one, a little bit different for me. It's new territory. So thanks for following along. I appreciate it, and thank you for everything that you do. If you've bought stuff off the website, if you've interacted with this channel, and all that stuff really helps. So thank you. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next one. Bye.